Ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers and moviegoers alike, welcome to Critically Casual. I'm your host, Srekcuf5, and joining me, as always, is the amazingly jolly Dorky Dev. Say hi, Dev.
I don't say that. That's a myth.
You don't?
No, I don't. All right, I'll do it this once.
Just this once?
Hi.
Hi! Sweet. Thank you, Dev. I appreciate that. You hear that, guys? He did say it.
Do not go back and try to prove it otherwise.
Nope. So how are you doing today? Dev, how are you?
Pretty good, honestly, all things considered.
Pretty good's good. That's good to hear. Sorry I never got back to you about a Netflix password.
Don't worry, borrowed someone else's.
Sweet. Perfect. I completely forgot to watch these movies until today, so oops. But oh well. Watched them. Got some notes. I was entertained. Yeah.
I have a singular note.
One singular note. I understand. Anything you want to say before we start talking about these movies?
Yes, and I'll talk about this after the show as well.
All right.
But just so everyone knows, you're watching this live, or if you're watching this or listening to this on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast services, like Spotify, Google Podcasts, and many more. Currently, up until the 24th is when I'm doing the event, but I'm still going to leave the link open. I'm doing a charity stream over on my personal channel, twitch.tv/Dorky Dev. I will also be adding a link to the descriptions of this episode, next week's episode, and both the Horror Podcast episodes these next 2 weeks. To the link to the charity event, I'm raising money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I'm trying to raise $2,500. Currently at $200 after 2 days.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah. I'm doing a bunch of stretch goals, doing a Wheel of Doom, stuff like that. So come on by if you happen to be listening to this and or watching this live, whatever. I'm posting a link in chat right now for the live audience. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the description down below, or you can find the link in the Spotify descriptions or whatever podcast service you use.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Sweet.
That's why in the video version, there's a fucking tree with a Funko in it.
A nice Funko in that tree.
Yeah, it's a Captain Hook one. Oh, speaking of Funkos, one more thing.
Ruh-roh.
Listen.
I'm filling the empty airway with
anniversary this year, so I had to get it. Another, because I'm a sucker for anniversaries of movies I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So getting something from it is always kind of nice.
Oh, nice.
Marty McFly future outfits. Yeah. It's the one I wanted to get. With the rainbow hat and all. So he'll be joining the shelf of not that many Funkos.
Got way too many of those, man.
No, I don't.
You kind of do.
But yeah, so that's what you're hearing me open. That's got to be great for audio listeners.
It's not that bad. It'd be awful if you were going into the microphone. Ah, my ears!
I just fucking dropped him already.
You just opened him, and you already depreciated his value.
Oh, the moment I open it, the value depreciates. But I'm not some fucking collector. I'm an enthusiast. More.
So you're a collector. I just kidding.
In a sense, but this one's actually really cool. I love that hat design on there.
Pretty nice hat.
Yeah, so
I'd wear that hat. That what's the word?
Translucent?
No.
Transcendent?
No.
I was gonna say that. I'm like, that ain't right. That ain't right at all. I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna put him.
Got a top shelf and a middle shelf.
I might have to move all my up top because it's just fucking huge.
Well,
God damn it, Deku.
Accurate.
Deku's not actually Deku, but the dog from Hello Kitty, Deku.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Already can fit in between Krillin.
All right. Just peeking out. Perfect. Now you're going to spend the first 10 minutes of your next stream being like, look at Marty in the background here. Isn't he great? You could see his little face.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
All right, on to the movies, right?
Yes, on to the movies. So today, I called this week Naughty for a good reason. Because we're talking about the Christmas Chronicles and the Christmas Chronicles 2. I misspelled it in both of these cases. It's
Did
totally
we really
okay.
just use the same GIF, by the way?
Yes, we did.
Without consult. All right. Man.
Yes.
We fucking suck.
Totally acknowledge that it is the same GIF and not a misspelling. We're talking about the Christmas Chronicles and the Christmas Chronicles 2. Let's start talking about the second time I've misspelled the word Chronicles.
Did you misspell them on all of them?
I'm pretty sure I did, yeah. I was just typing it up really fast. Yep, I did. Wow. Call me a genius.
That was dumb. I hate it.
Thank you. So, let's start talking about the Christmas Chronicles, the very first movie written or directed in.
Right. So,
great segue.
Shut up. The Christmas Chronicles was released 22nd November 2018. Let's see if they released a budget. They did not. Because this was a Netflix movie, so they don't got to do that. Mm-hmm. There's no way really to calculate that. Though it didn't get, it got average reception roughly. And it's kind of understandable. It's kind of average. Mm-hmm. But Kurt Russell is fucking charming, who is our Marvel connection of the day. As always, because it's goddamn Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's damn, like, my favorite part of this movie. And of course, he has to be because he's Santa in this movie. So, he's arguably
one of the best Santas so far, in my opinion, that I've seen. I'm glad. So we were debating this or the Santa Claus movies. Mm-hmm. I think we made the right choice because it's just Kurt Russell.
I agree. Kurt Russell versus Tim Allen.
The only argument I would make is that the other ones are more chaotic.
Yes. I mean, who doesn't want to see Jack Frost?
I still haven't seen the third one.
Oh, maybe we should have seen those instead.
We'll do it next year. A year of build-up.
Stay tuned for in 1 year.
In exactly 52 weeks.
365 days.
Not exactly.
Yeah. We'll get there.
52 Mondays from now.
Hopefully we don't have to change the date again anytime soon.
Oh God, don't quote me on that anymore then. Anyways, no, I mean, this movie's kind of average. I think the teen and child actors in this are pretty good. Judah Lewis and Darby Camp. I think they both did a good job. It's campy. Mind the pun on Darby's name there. But like, I mean, it's supposed to be. It's a little goofy. It's a Christmas movie. I don't know. It's like, it's nothing I would dislike. I would harshly dislike, but it's also nothing that, like, there's a couple jokes that get me in this movie. Mm-hmm. Like the one joke that I wrote down is the only note I've written from these two movies. Can you guess it? Hint, it ties into last week.
No, I can't guess it.
Can't you just Jedi mind trick them?
Oh.
I'm Santa.
Yeah.
Not Yoda.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, I didn't expect that to be our through line from last week to this week, but
it's there.
It is.
It exists. That's actually kind of funny because I wrote down a couple of notes here. Um, One thing that actually I made myself laugh more than this movie made me laugh because I'm hilarious. But one of the things that I wrote down was like when the accident happens towards the beginning of the movie, um, with Darby, sorry, with Kate, Teddy, and Santa. Um, I literally was like, "Well, that's gonna get them on the naughty list." And I busted up laughing. And then, a minute or two later, he's like, "You're forever on the naughty list," and storms off. I'm like, "Oh, well, I think I was funnier." Mm-hmm.
No, what? It's the same joke, fucker.
I know, yeah. I know. But one thing I actually wanted to talk to you about, because I agree for you with the most part. Like, I thought this was a perfectly average movie. I did enjoy it, honestly. It made me laugh at a couple of times.
I didn't disenjoy it. I enjoyed it for the most part.
Mm-hmm. There's constantly parts that definitely in the second movie. The second one I'll talk about it more. But this first movie had moments where I was like, "Huh!" Now it's like we're on a we're in a Harry Potter movie, and now it's like we're in this movie, and now it's like we're in this movie. Um, it gets worse in the second movie, but I thought this one was a pretty entertaining story. But the question I ultimately have is this movie trying to I'm gonna predicate this by saying that I'm pulling a little deep for this. Is this movie trying to like push another renaissance for like the whole Christianity is the bestianity?
Okay, it wasn't just me.
No.
God, there are some. And the next movie's worse about it, but like in some cases. But there are some big like follow God moments, and I'm like,
I kind of agree with that. One of them was I wrote down the line that really made me start thinking about it, which was people need Christmas to know just how good they can be. And I was like, well, that it's subtle. In that instance, it was subtle to me. I was like, but then I started thinking about things like, well, is this a story about Christianity and how they like good Christians get gifts at the end of the year, and like is Christianity the best thing? And it kind of kept happening a couple of times. Um Even to the point where it's like the characters have a character moment in front of a church. And I felt like that was one of the most forced parts of this movie, was because they were in the middle of a mission. They were following this thing that's telling them, "Hey, go this way and do this," and they just stop and they look at this church and then they talk about life, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we were following this thing. Let's go continue with our mission." Like, I felt like that was one of the worst parts of this. So, and it kind of kept going from there too, because at one point Santa, like, I assume, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I feel like Santa fucking mind controls a woman into getting back together with a man because he's a good Christian cop.
yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm. So
It's weird.
Yeah. However, things I do want to praise about this movie there are three things I want to praise about this movie. Is also the term of like baptism and fire. Baptism, I was like, yeah, I guess it's. But yeah, but things I want to praise about this movie, the fact that Santa actually speaks every language,
Yeah,
or at
that's
least
pretty good.
at least we can assume he does. He speaks like 4 or 5 in this movie, so I can assume he speaks more than that at this point.
Yeah, he probably has to.
Mm-hmm. Which makes me happy. Another thing I enjoyed was the fact that his actual real life wife was his wife in this movie.
Oh yeah, no, that like spoiler, but I mean it's revealed in the second movie's trailer, so not really a huge one. Having Goldie Hawn show up in that was good.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty darn great.
I in this one I was curious if it was actually gonna be her,
Mm-hmm.
or if it was like one of those things that they would cast later, just have a stand-in.
Mm-hmm. I feel like almost if we want to go with this, it's trying to be a good Christian movie. I feel like it almost had to be her to be like, I'm a good Christian actor who only does things with my wife, my real life wife. There's lots of eyebrow movement going on here that I don't think you're noticing.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find a fucking movie real quick.
Okay.
Where is it?
But then I also have what is it here? 2 other critiques. Definitely at least 1, but maybe 2. Another one of the critiques I have is a lot of the driving like tension to this movie is the Christmas spirit. It's how Christmassy and happy and jolly people feel. And as the movie's progressing, the Christmas meter is going down. But if you really think about it, at least in the context of this movie, everybody's asleep. So is it that when people are sleeping, they don't believe in Santa and they don't have holiday spirit?
That's a complicated question.
Okay. Sure.
Christmas magic is weird.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Yeah. That's what I can't. Like, all in all, in this film, like, I would probably watch it again, honestly. At least once. Probably next year. Not anytime soon.
Nope.
Because like I said, Kurt Russell, pretty great. Best part of this movie. Don't think there's a worse part.
Nope. It's just very average.
No, it just kind of exists. I mean, that's kind of what holiday movies are, right? They just, at least in this case so far, in the instance of movies that we have watched, except for the Star Wars Holiday Special.
We don't talk about that.
Man, just like Disney.
Uh-huh. No, Disney acknowledges it.
That's why they made the Star Wars Holiday Special. And soon to be... Spoilers for news. We'll wait for that. Get you? That's a hook there. Now you got to stay until the end of the podcast to find out more.
Run while you can. No. So like, I don't know. It's just like this one's just kind of in a weird gray area. There are Christmas movies I would pick more. Like I have probably one of my favorite Christmas movies will always be The Christmas Story, or A Christmas Story.
Mm-hmm. What about next week's movie?
Oh, and Scrooged. I was in there. Those are like my 2 Christmas movies for me. My 2 go-tos. And then maybe like Bad Santa.
Bad Santa's pretty good. I was thinking about doing something like that. That was one of the thoughts I had at one point. Bad Santa 1 and 2.
Oh yeah. I mean, we have next year.
Also on next year's list, we've already pretty much figured out next year's movies. Nightmare Before Christmas.
We gotta do that in November.
Yeah, it is kind of a Thanksgiving movie.
Well, it's got Halloween and Christmas, so it's right in the middle.
I'll be honest, that's actually what I do in those cases. I usually watch that movie in November.
When else are you supposed to watch it? You don't watch that movie twice. Also, I've never been able to sit all the way through that movie.
Have you?
Every time I try to watch it on my own, and I just do not enjoy it.
All right, then I guess I have to watch it with you.
That's a hot take. I know. Like
that's my stepmother's favorite movie.
That's a lot of people's favorite fucking movie, man. It's like some people's go-to Tim Burton. And I'm really hoping no one I know, who I know probably fucking loves that movie from a certain group of friends, hears me talk about this movie, but I'm not a huge fan of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Does her name begin with an R or a B or an S?
Yes.
Or an A?
Yes.
Uh-oh, you might be in trouble.
I think most of them. And you, I know you're a fan of it, right? You like it.
Yeah, I enjoy that movie. I'm not gonna.
So you're probably looking
at you, though.
Well, yeah, but you probably look at me different as the person who's like, how can he not sit through that one movie, but he can sit through all the Fast and Furious movies?
So I would, and if you had asked me this maybe last year, told me this last year, 100%, I would have gone off on you. But I have a coworker this year who she has never seen any movie, like any pop culture movie ever. I'll reference Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Fast and the Furious. Like,
wait, you reference Fast and the Furious now?
I tried to. I was like, I will reference anything to try and get this girl.
Have you tried Marvel?
Yes, she doesn't understand it either. Want to know the one that she did get?
Give me a genre.
Musical. Old musical.
Singing in the Rain?
No.
Then I
Grease.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah,
the one movie she knew when I was cleaning up cables at work, like wrapping them up, and I was like, tangled cables happen so fast. And like I see her pause and like the gears in her head start turning, and she's like, that was Grease. That's my favorite movie. And I'm like, oh God. Your favorite movie is Grease? Yeah. So,
this isn't making fun of you, I hope, if you ever listen to this.
No, it's not making fun of her.
It's just, that's awesome. Like, that's awesome in the way that, like, because like, for us, we're so wrapped in pop culture at this point because of what we do. Like, I mean, currently we're doing a movie podcast while I'm wearing a gaming shirt and a sports team hat and shirt. Or I'm wearing a
Star Wars shirt.
A hoodie. You're wearing a fucking Star Wars shirt. Or you look at my fucking background. You find things from every goddamn fucking like genre, from anime to comics to movies to TV shows
to alcohol
to games.
Dirty dishes.
I just don't have any music stuff in here right now when I think about it.
Got a trombone in the background.
I could put it like right here. It'd be just.
I was just thinking that.
I just need a trombone stand.
I mean, you used to have a guitar, but Streamsmith.
I mean, it's there. You can see it poke out just a little bit.
Oh yeah, I see it there.
It's not a real guitar, so I don't count it. I mean,
right, makes sense. You're not a real guitar player. Not a real musician.
I'm not. I mean, I am a real musician. Fuck you. I play trombone.
I play trombone.
Wow. Anyways, we got really off tangent there for a second. God damn.
That is, yep. Every day. Do you want to, anything else you want to talk about? Or do you want your popcorn kernels?
I think we're good on the Christmas Chronicles one.
All right. You're getting your 10 popcorn kernels. How many are you?
I think I'm just going to put it like, it's above average. Or it'd be like, it's about average, I guess. It's above, I think it's above like a dead 5.
Okay.
Because that would be what we would consider an average movie here.
Yeah. Dead average 5. Right middle of the road.
I don't know if it's quite a 7.
Okay.
But it's a kids movie, so oh man, kids movie.
I was about to say, are we going to count this as a kids movie? I guess.
Does it count as a kids movie?
The two main characters are kids.
And it's a Christmas movie. There's not a lot of adult Christmas movie.
It's PG. Yeah, it's a kids movie.
I guess that puts it at a 7.5.
Well, shit.
Whatever you had in your mind, that's what you got to go. Just add a point.
Well, shit. Fucking kids point. I've cursed us again.
Yeah, 100%.
This movie, I was going to give it a 7.
Wow. That's going to fucking move that dial up even further.
Yeah.
So it's an 8, which means 8 overall.
Like, I thought it was pretty entertaining. I laughed a good couple of times.
That's fair. Goddamn kids point, man. That thing, like...
Yeah. I forgot. I wasn't even thinking about that at this point. I was like, nah, it's not a kids movie. But if it was PG-13, I would have said no.
That's fair. Is that going to be our cutoff then? Our rule going forward?
Well, let me see. Where was How to Train Your Dragon?
That was PG.
Dragon Hidden World 2019 was PG. We'll say PG-13 is the cutoff then.
Okay. What was Into the Spider-Verse? Because we didn't give that a kid point, I don't think, because, I mean, we debated it, but we were going to give it 10s overall anyways. But I was trying to fight for an 11.
PG.
On that one. Wow, so that would have gotten a kid point. That could have been, we could have broken the rules and made it an 11.
Turn it up to 11.
So with a kid's point, that breaks the meter.
Yeah.
All right, rule on December 14th of 2020, the rule was created that the kid point only goes for movies PG or G, not for PG-13.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Hear ye. On to the next movie.
Oh, next movie. We are moving on.
Doing that voice just makes me want to do watch a Monty Python movie now.
I just want to freaking play D&D.
Fucking, let's work on setting one up. Let's talk about it later.
All right, Christmas Chronicles 2. We're doing the thing. We're talking about...
Yeah, it released this year on the 25th of November of 2020. Again, can't see budget because Netflix. It has Kurt Russell returning as Santa, Darby Camp returning as Kate, and for what he was in, Judah Lewis does return for Teddy. He's not in for a lot.
He's there for like 10 minutes.
He's sidelined like in the Chronicles of Narnia. Like how the adult kids kind of get sidelined after a certain point. Anyways, the two newer characters that we get introduced to, though, are Jezra?
I'm going to say Jazir.
Jazir? My bad. Jazir Bruno playing Jack. Tyrese Gibson playing Bob. Did not expect to see Tyrese in this.
Yeah, he kind of threw me off.
I was like, oh shit.
I was expecting Vin Diesel to pop up.
Or an Autobot. And then we have Julian Dennison as Belsnickel, who
is our Marvel connection of the week.
Kind of, yeah. Our second one,
yeah,
because Kurt Russell does play Ego in the Guardians of the Galaxy 2, or Volume 2. He's a Fire Fist from Deadpool 2. He fucking showed up. I'm like, wait, fucking Fire Fist in this?
Yeah, right?
What? He's playing an evil elf thing?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
See, the thing that got me about since we're on him specifically, I laughed. I thought it was really funny to see him, but I thought their explanation of him was a little misguided. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, once again, I feel like that's partially that like forced Christianity angle that they're throwing in here. But I mean, it makes sense. It's a Christianity holiday initially to cover up pagan holidays. But
so I celebrate Streamsmiths. It's a holiday entirely my own and my community.
Absolutely. But hearing his story of how I won't get into spoilers. I was about to. I almost slipped. Really, I was like, really? Come on. He can't be like just aged because he's out of the area. Like, that can't be the explanation. No. Okay. And then Mrs. Claus' story too. Like, her whole story is she wants kids?
Kind of, yeah. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, why haven't you had kids yet? There's no explanation why they don't.
My guess is because if the baby was born, it would never age So it'd be a 1 second old baby until the end of time.
Yeah, they never really go into that though. Why? Like it makes it like it doesn't make sense because she seems so like, hey, I want a kid. The entire fucking movie.
My guess is something about like he can't. It's his job as Santa to not have a child, but it is never explained. It's kind of like the storyline behind Belsnickel. Like he was their kind of pseudo child. Oh.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and, well, and also like not to spoil it, but like that whole scene about Belsnickel's past, where they kind of do like the kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Who is it?
Oh, one thing yeah, I agree with that too. Who why does he look familiar? Oh, that's this person. Oh, did you catch the connection there? Oh. But also, one thing that I didn't like about this movie, all the fourth wall breaks.
Oh my god, it got worse in this movie. Like
I didn't even really notice.
There was
them
one in the first one.
Okay.
There was one.
I didn't really notice it. It went over my radar. It was fine then. In this movie, they were very egregious and obvious. I wrote them down too. Like the one that really caught me was the beginning intro one with Belsnickel, whatever his name is. And the other one was with Jack or Bob. Sorry, no, Jack. Jack was his name. Sorry, where the frostbite joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, fourth wall jokes are weird.
They are.
If not like done in a movie where it's commonplace. Like it works in a Deadpool or Ferris Bueller.
Like I'm more okay with it with certain characters. I think Santa is an okay character to get away with fourth wall breaks in this instance. But not the kids.
They're not magical.
No. Especially not all knowing.
Yeah, there's some other stuff that just like doesn't make sense. Like this universe is like weirdly expanded upon in what is possible. I don't know, man. It's weird. Yeah. I don't like it as much.
This one I thought was worse. I definitely thought this was a worse movie. Wasn't as entertaining. The storyline wasn't as good. I thought the plot dynamic, like the character development was fine between the ones we got, but I thought it was super obvious. Like Jack's storyline was straight up like,
oh my god,
you could tell from the very beginning what his storyline was going to be.
Handed the two items. This is what this one does. This is what this one does.
Gee, I wonder which one's real. There was literally about 20 seconds I thought neither of those cookies were real, but
same, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But then the our main character's story as well, Katie, Claire, whatever her name is, Kate. Like it kind of made sense because teenage years.
Yeah, and traumatic experiences.
Like it does make sense, yes, but it also kind of doesn't. It's definitely why they had to sideline the brother. Like if the brother was there, he'd be like, "You're dumb, sister. You talked to me about this last 2 years ago."
Well, in a different sense, yes, but like because it's. I get what they're going for, but they don't approach it in a way that isn't like grabbing a fucking hammer and going, "Do you get it?"
No, yeah.
I'm like, okay, Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck? Like after a certain point, I'm like, okay, yes, I fucking get it. Move on.
Yeah.
Move on.
I 100% agree with you.
Do something else. Please. Because my God, it just tries to beat you over the head with it after a certain point, and it gets old.
Mm-hmm. It definitely does. I 100% agree with you. I like this movie. I just sat there and I was like, I was really hopeful actually because I kind of enjoyed the first movie. Like I said, I was gonna give it a 7 on its own. Kids Point gave it an 8. But then this follow up was definitely more of like a cash grab type thing. I know they don't really get cash for. I mean, they do, but they don't. Netflix is Netflix. But still, like, it just didn't quite work out the same. The character development wasn't quite as well. It's just the story arc wasn't as good to me, and even the story in the first movie wasn't that great if you really think about it. Like,
no, it was a very basic story with lovable characters,
especially like who the sequence with the thugs in the first movie, like in the park. There was absolutely no way Teddy leaves that situation the way he did, but it happened that way because movies got a movie.
Hey, the movie had a movie, and it had fun being a movie. This one I did not enjoy as much because, like, the way it did it, it was just like this movie. Like, I give the excuse movie has to movie quite a bit for quite a few movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
this
do.
movie didn't always need to movie.
No,
but it consistently movied to have to movie.
Mm-hmm. And this movie was one that
if people, God damn, we need to.
All right, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if anyone comes into this show at this episode, they're like, "What the fuck are they talking about? Movie has to movie."
Yeah.
Why do they keep saying movie so much? Because we said movie, I think, like purposely, like 6 times, and then you went into your sentence starting with movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, movie's got a movie. It's essentially, for anyone who doesn't understand, it's essentially like there's a logic behind this movie that really doesn't make sense, except that the movie has to happen. So if this doesn't happen, the movie doesn't happen. So movie's got a movie.
It's my counter to Steven being too critical of a movie sometimes. Because movie has to movie. And, you know, from time to time, it just does.
No, I'm pretty sure if I spent the time to look back through the archives, we'd find out that I was the first one to say that, but whatever.
I mean, maybe, but still my counter to you. Because you brought it up. Because you're like, I'm tired of movie after movie. I probably just started using it against you because you hate it. But it's just, movies do have to movie. But this movie didn't have to movie all the time. Like, it just... There were too many moments where it was just like, why are we doing this? Movie has to movie. But you just movied has to movie just like 2 scenes ago. Like, why are we moving half the movie now? Again.
Like the elves in this movie?
Or the airport? Being there did not need to happen.
No. The airport was just... kinds of there. But that was one of the moments, literally, I was sitting there thinking throughout this movie. There's like different scenes where I was like, wow, why does this feel like we're suddenly watching this and suddenly we're watching that? You having that Marty McFly Funko is actually perfect because I literally sat there as the movie was starting. I was like, why do I feel like there's going to be a Back to the Future moment? And there 100% kind of was. They just didn't say the lines. We've got to go back to the future. Yeah.
We're back in the past. Back in the past. Say it, damn it. If you're going to fucking tease, just say it.
So, yeah, what year was it? I didn't see it clearly. I thought it said like 1990.
90-something. Yeah, 90-something.
Yeah.
It adds up.
What was going on in Chicago, wherever the hell they were, in 1990? That made everybody so sad.
The airport's blizzard closing down.
I guess.
I mean, it is a sad thing if you're trying to get there, but also if you're flying on Christmas Eve, you're an idiot.
Kind of. Or a business person who's very unfortunate. Or an idiot.
At that point, you're just not making it. Don't try.
Yeah, but I definitely, that was the moment there where I was like, they threw this in here. Because it happened, it worked pretty well in the first movie. Like, it actually led up to a decent moment in the first movie. Like, it was obnoxious, yes. but it kind of makes sense. They built up to it better. In this movie, Santa's just like, here we go, bitches. We gonna get this spirit up. And then at the end of the song,
I do love having Kurt Russell sing.
yeah, it's like, it's good. And then this is one of those weird moments that like had me thinking about this Christianity stuff again. Because like once you have Christmas spirit and you believe in the spirit of giving and goodness, the weather just clears up. Everyone can get to their flights on time.
Yeah, they do a bit of heavy-handedness of Christmas only like it's heavy-handed in this one more than the last one.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's just overall worse. Like, I guess it's another thing that I would give the Tim Allen Santa Claus a point on. It's not like straight up. I mean, they make reference to it in the first Santa Claus, right? Where, you know, the kid's like, well, not everyone celebrates Christmas, so he doesn't have to deliver to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that makes sense.
The first movie, I feel like they just do North America and stop.
I mean, kind of.
The second movie, we're not even there on Christmas Day. But at least we get a cute singing montage.
Kind of. You're talking about in this one?
Yeah.
In the Chronicles? Yeah. Yeah, no, we get like part of North America in this one, in the first one, and then we get, it's not even Christmas yet. I was like, why are we doing this then? These should be Christmas. Like, it should be Christmas Day if we're gonna fucking call it the Christmas Chronicles. It's like the eve before the eve of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 3 days before Christmas. It's not.
What's going to happen now is there's going to be a movie next year where the main character is Teddy, sorry. And it's going to take place a few days after Christmas. And Santa's going to be like, I need your help to prepare for next Christmas. It's a long job. It's going to be very boring. It's going to be a lot of hard work.
I mean, at this point, I don't get it, man. This movie's just not great at all.
Not really, no.
It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, this one was a bit of a letdown. Especially because we actually got to see the two of these characters, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, to get like together in a movie. They haven't really done this often. I think this was the second time we've seen them on screen together. So,
what? I blanked out for just like a second.
Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I mean they were in Overboard together, which is a fun movie. If you haven't seen it, I grew up kind of on that movie. Haven't revisited since becoming an adult, but I kind of that's one of the ones my mom would put on all the fucking time. So grew up a little bit on that movie. Yeah, I can't think of another one they were both in together though. Like offhand, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking through both of their catalogs of movies.
I don't really think,
but I could be wrong. Yeah. But I mean, their chemistry is real, so it works really well. Like the scenes those two have together, involved with each other.
Okay. Like, is there anything else we want to talk about when it comes to this one before we hop into spoilers, which I think is going to be a short spoiler section?
I mean, yeah, let's just dive into it at this point. There's not much to talk about in this one other than it's just like, it's really not good. I didn't enjoy it as much.
I agree. I
mean, it's not the worst movie.
No.
I'm not going to say that, but like, I don't know.
I wouldn't say it's nearly.
No, not.
So,
not.
If I were to give my kernels first.
Yes, which you will.
Yeah. With the kids' point, this one gets a 5.5.
Yeah, that's actually about where I was putting it as well.
Like, 5 is an average movie. It's just below, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's just below average. But Kids Point bumps it up, so...
Let's
Now we know. Spoilers!
Yep.
We're here. This is probably going to be a short spoiler section because really, like, we've pretty much talked about everything substantial about this movie. But we can kind of spoil both movies if we want at this point. I just didn't make a graphic for it.
Yeah.
So, specifically about this movie, the one thing that really throws me off, is Belsnickel, because of his weird story arc of if he's an elf who decides to be obnoxious and zany and crazy and go against the system, and he commits the 5 sins of an elf, and because of that he becomes human. Like, I feel like it would have been better for me if he's cursed by his own bloodline or whatever and then becomes human. It's just what happens to elves if they do the wrong thing. But then they can be cured later. But either way, while he's a human, nothing happens to him for thousands of years.
Not thousands. Maybe 100. Who knows? They never tell us when the thing happened.
Yeah, they never tell us when Belsnickel was kicked out.
It could have happened legitimately 5 days ago. Could have happened 700 years ago.
I mean, Santa in the first movie said he was 1,700 years old.
Yes.
So theoretically, Belsnickel could be 1,700 years old.
Yes, roughly the same age, like around the same time, because he was in the little prelude thing in this movie.
No, yeah, he was.
Yes.
So he's about that age. But we don't know when he was turned into a human, which is the part that confuses me, because they say inside the sphere, inside the Borealis area, is where time stands still, so none of the people age. Outside, people age, time still travels, whatever. That's where we find Belsnickel. So
as a human,
which apparently he, after being turned into a human, he himself just chose to leave. So
he ran away because he was
humiliated and embarrassed and scared and angry. Yeah, like he just ran off. So
also teenage years at like he was a teenager, okay, in elf years. How long do elves live?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And if he's a human, he should be dead. Or an adult. And if it wasn't in the last couple of years.
Well, the thing is, like, it's got to be like human lifespan, elf lifespan, and it just like goes like this kind of thing. So it puts you where you should be, kind of thing.
I hear you, yeah.
On the human timeline, based off of where you are in the elf timeline. But by that logic, it's had to have been within the last couple of years, 2-3 years, that he turned human.
Yeah,
within the last 5. Or maximum, I'd say last 5.
Yeah, like it has to be that way, or else this stuff just doesn't make sense, you know?
Yeah. So, looking at that, last 5 years, how fucking long do elves live? Because there's a fucking old-ass elf who's an old elf. How long has he been around?
Yeah, and he's outside the sphere of time, too. Where everyone inside...
He's aging.
Yeah. So...
But still, he would be, I would guess, like, based off of how he was portrayed... 60, 70 in elf years.
Mm-hmm. But for us, ancient.
Yeah. Because he's also played by Malcolm McDowell, who, you know, Dr. Samuel Loomis from the Rob Zombie Halloweens that we watched recently.
Mm-hmm.
God damn that fucking movie. But he voiced that guy. That elf. What's the elf's name? Fuck it. Hawken. And that elf is old. Like old. Like 70 something. But that means he had to have been, because if when Belsnickel was like younger, was 1,700 years ago, and he's about a teen now. We don't know exactly how old he would have been, right? Mm-hmm. He was probably like, we guess 10 in elf years back then. That means it takes fucking thousands of years for an elf to die.
Yes.
Which is insanity.
And they're now hidden.
Some of them.
Yeah. No longer worried about the point of extinction like they were initially.
It's a lot. That's a lot, man.
I would love
That's a lot
to
of
see
years.
a Santa origin movie now. Like young Santa earning the trust of the elves and gaining the Star of Bethlehem. Or the fragment of the Star of Bethlehem.
Maybe. I don't know if I want that, man. I
How
don't
he
know if I want that at
unlocked
all.
his saint powers, be able to channel the energy of a star, because apparently
No,
he's the only one who can do it.
He calls himself Saint Nick, but he's not he's more of an honorary saint, not an actual saint. You know, it depends on who's in power and all that.
Mhm.
Another dumb joke. Oh God, I don't really enjoy, like, this movie makes me enjoy the other one less.
I could agree with that, honestly. You're not.
There's also, like,
wrong.
Kate acts way, like, I know she's supposed to be a teenager in this, but she acts so dramatically different than the last one.
Absolutely.
I can get being rebellious and wanting to run away. I get that. But, like, the way she does some things just feels off from what she did in the last one. Like how she acts towards Jack.
Mm-hmm.
She's just a dick to Jack the entire time.
You're my pseudo brother. I hate you.
Like, she was just kind of mean to him throughout the beginning of this movie. And then, like, when they get to the North Pole, she's like, oh, I'll be nice now.
Because I'm around Santa. He'll give me things, because he's Santa. I heard a movie commentary not that long ago about a lot of Christmas movies are like upper middle class dreams where people do the same things, and like you could directly compare. Let's talk about the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he tries to get the superhero toy for his son on Christmas.
Oh, what a movie. That is, what is it called? Deck the Halls.
Yeah, let's say Deck the Halls. Arnold Schwarzenegger is upper middle class white male, and his antagonist counterpart, is a lower middle class African American male, and they're literally doing the exact same things in the movie. But by the end of the movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger is cheered and carried away as a hero, while the antagonist man is thrown in jail.
Yep.
Oh. And that's it can be taken as a commentary too for a lot of Christmas movies, I hear. Like if you really look into it as a slightly classist, partially racist, maybe bigoted if you get into religiousness. I forget the proper word for being anti-religious.
It's interesting because, like, these movies just, like, have so many moments where they just slam you with the like the just, like, religious backhand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of not insulting, but it's just off-putting for me. Because, like, I've made it abundantly clear I'm not exactly religious.
What?
But,
You not religious? No.
I know. But I have nothing against people being religious. It's just when, like, and I know I should expect it with a movie like this because it is Christmas, and a lot of people see Christmas as being, like, kind of strictly Christian.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of people who fucking love Christmas who aren't, because Christmas in a lot of ways is fucking rad. The way that we can, at least American Christmas, the way you could do it, be like, hey, all of you are getting fucking gifts from me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I don't know. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just, Christmas isn't just for Christians, I guess. Which is a weird way to put it. I don't know. It's just a complicated movie.
Like
in that
nowadays,
sense.
I agree with that. Like Christmas, it's Christmas. Sadly, I think is more capitalistic than it used to be, where it's more about like getting people things and just being together with your family. Like it is about being together with friends and family. It's kind of like the
Yeah.
Life Day movie where it's like just being with your friends is all you really need. It kind of makes that in this movie too for Kate's story where it's just like you just got to be with the people that you love and they love you and everything will
Can
be
we
fine.
talk about that real quick too? Like this movie especially does the one of the things I kind of hate in movies, which is your blood family is your family. You have to stay with them, kind of thing. And not that like Kate's her mother and all that are toxic individuals and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but for people who deal with toxic family, like always being driven home with but their blood.
Mhm.
Just because sometimes blood is thinner than water.
Yeah. I mean, if it is, they should go to a doctor. But still, you're not wrong.
Um, like, and so like, and personally, I have some like I have some strained family relationships and stuff like that. So like, whenever I hear that, it's always like I don't necessarily adhere to that
Mhm.
because it doesn't necessarily work. Um, so no. Is what I kind of like feel like there's a part of my brain that immediately like rebels against the idea, and I'm just like, no,
Mhm.
that's not always the right way to do it. I don't know. It's again one of those ones where I'm just like, all right, it is what it is. Um, this movie's got a movie, and that's gonna be one of its plot points, whatever. But it just always feels really heavy-handed when it's with that, with a lot of the religious overtones, with a lot of the really movie has to movie moments, like all of those culminating together to what we had with the fucking time travel moment
Mhm.
and seeing the moment that kid started talking,
It's like that's dad.
played by Selick.
Give me.
He was boy from God of War.
Oh.
But he's also from mid 90s. And a few other movies.
It's probably something strange like Sunny Solhe or something weird like that.
From what?
His name, Sunny. I don't know.
I know it's Sunny, but Soljic.
We'll
Sorry,
say
is that
we
what you
could say
said?
Soljic. I don't know.
Okay.
It literally could be something weird like Sunny Dolhe, but we'll say Soljic.
Okay. But like the moment I saw his face, because I recognized his face, I'm like, that's gotta be the dad. 100%. Come from a long line of true believers. And immediately I'm like, that's the dad. It's like I knew it was the dad before, but this is the dad. 100%.
And then the pocket knife.
Always see it through.
Thanks, Dad. I'm like, oh, you just scarred him.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, what? Huh? Like at least in the last movie, it wasn't as like with it. In the last movie, I liked how they did the dad thing.
Yeah.
Where the son got a golden ornament from Santa that when he looks into it, he sees his dad.
Hmm.
That right there, that's good.
Yeah, that was cute.
That's
I really enjoyed
great.
that. But now they've gone back in time.
Gotta go back in time.
Yes.
Gotta go back in time.
And it literally was nothing. Like they just used
my
that back
God.
in time segment for the singing dance off stuff, just so he can go back forward in time. Like it was a forced in moment.
God, 100%. Which also makes me wonder, how was time passing for Jack?
Well, it's just a normal day.
No, but Jack's doing things during this moment. So Did Jack do all the things in 15 seconds?
Yes.
It's only 15 seconds past from them going to the past to going back to the present.
I thought it was kind of cute.
I mean, it's cute in a way, but also just so fucking movie has to movie.
Yeah.
Like the moment the dad showed up, like I just was immediately like, God damn it. We don't need this.
No, I agree with you though. It was a really unneeded thing. She didn't really need closure with her dad. That wasn't something she did in the last movie either.
No, she I don't know, man. It's just not good. I got nothing else. That's the last complaint I got.
All right, I hear you. I've got nothing else. Let's move on to the news. Hit the buttons. All right, we're in the news. So, a good handful
What do you
want to
start with?
Started. I want to start with the. I was about to say the non-Marvel news, but that's not true. It's all Marvel news.
Depending how you look at it.
So I'm gonna start with the one disappointing thing. Well, slightly disappointing thing. It's the article I posted on the Critical Casual board and Discord, which is of Kelly Marie Tran talking about how she feels an unfair pressure of her Disney role in a new upcoming movie. For anybody who doesn't know, Kelly Marie Tran is now going to be playing a Asian. Was that what it is? Sorry, I should have read this ahead of time. I mean, I did read it ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
I did read it ahead of time. I just lost where I put my note because I. Yep. I.
Uh-huh. Tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
Please, sir. Can I have some more?
About how dumb I am?
No. Well, I was about to go. Don't be afraid. Have some put some more.
Trying to find the exact quote here. I'm sorry.
Is it the one towards the top of the article?
Might be. Might not be.
It should not feel so precious that something like this exists.
Yeah. There's another one here. There should be so many. There should be so many. Do you know what I mean? I feel like sometimes when you are in an underappreciated group or underrepresented group of people and you get to this opportunity, you sort of have to do all these mental Olympics, and that's sort of an unfair pressure to put on yourself. Like she feel like she has to represent all of these people, and she feel like if she doesn't, that's letting them down. Is essentially the idea I got there. But I can also feel like I can also see at the same time she could be feeling this awful pressure just from people who hate her still on the internet.
I mean, it's probably both, honestly.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I wanted to start with that one just because representation matters, and now that we have representation in some aspects, like she says she has to be careful. She has to choose things that she says and does wisely, and um, it's very important that it's done right, or else she worries that it won't be done again anytime soon.
Yeah. It's complicated issues. Like, I don't know, man. It's just there shouldn't be a weight like that in the first place, but you have a bunch of fucking assholes who acted like they did during the the Last Jedi, and then also on top of that being a representative for a underrepresented group. It's a lot all at once to have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, she's stressed, and it's understandable. And I feel bad for her.
Some other news that I can bring up involves the HBO Max. Legendary Studios apparently not fans of what's going on since they funded Dune, and Kong versus Godzilla. Not a huge fan of what's going on with HBO Max, so they're trying to fight with Warner Brothers. Like, hey, put our movies in theaters and not there first.
Yeah.
And yeah, I understand where they're coming from, 100%, in the sense that like you're a giant super corporation that needs money to stay alive during these times, and you're not going to get as much money when it's going to a streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not. But at the same time, I don't know if theaters are going to be viable into 2021. It might not be till 2022. And some of those theaters aren't going to get the support they need to stay alive. Like AMC has said, I believe that they have enough money to make it through 2020, but they may not make it all the way till relief comes.
Mm-hmm. Like, things are not looking good for movie. Oh, like I got an email not that long ago. Like I got one of these a few months ago, but I got one again that was essentially a Save Your Cinema email asking for like donations and things to try and keep some of the local theaters afloat, because all of my theaters are local chains. Like they're all owned by the same like small film troupe people, and none of them are like Harkins or
Yeah, I don't have any of the big ones here either. We have one that I think has 3 theaters, 2 in town, 1 in a different town.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't want theaters to go because I like theaters. We talked about this a little bit last week, but I don't know if they make it at this point. At least the way we understand it, theaters are going to be way different than what they used to be, especially with HBO Max doing what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with what? Do you mind if I segue into the next thing?
Go for it.
Especially with what Disney's doing. So Disney had their investor meeting Friday or Thursday. Thursday was a crazy day. You had Cyberpunk's launch, and we'll talk about that tomorrow on the podcast. You had the Game Awards,
Mm-hmm.
which had some announcements. Awesome. I cried that night a little after the Mass Effect announcement. And then we also had the Disney Investors Call, which usually is only an hour, maybe. This one was 4 because they were doing it virtually, and it's essentially making up for the D23 Expo that they normally would do.
Mm-hmm.
Where they announced a shit ton of stuff. Ton of stuff for just
shit ton.
That's the best way to put it. I'm gonna skip over the stuff that they announced for Disney.
Yeah.
Because not that those aren't big money things, but they don't really target towards what we mostly go for.
Like we'll definitely end up seeing them, but they're not newsworthy right now.
They're not what we're focused on because they're not what we normally would talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The big ones were Star Wars and Marvel related because we're fucking nerds. So with those, oh man, sorry, man. We got a ton of announcements based on movies and stuff like that, but a lot of the movies are still going to theaters through Disney.
Yes.
Which is good for theaters, because if Warner Brothers or Warner Media and Disney both one way, all you got is Universal, and Universal has already done something with Trolls World Tour. So you ain't got anyone after that, really. Not that Universal doesn't bring in big money, but like they've got Transformers and Fast and Furious. That's your money with Universal. Disney and Warner Brothers have so much when it comes to the movies that people go to theaters to watch. You have, with Warner, you have DC movies, which people go to watch, and you have a slew of just a variety of movies, is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Disney has Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stuff that they did announce for Star Wars. And some of these are like, I'm really happy to see something like this coming from it. You had Rangers of the New Republic and the Ahsoka shows being announced. Both of these taking place around the same time as Mando. Apparently, there's talk that also at least Rangers is gonna build towards a culmination of multiple like shows coming together for a thing. Probably Ahsoka, Rangers, Mando, all three shows combining for an episode for maybe a movie. Who knows? You had the Andor series based on Cassian Andor from Rogue One. You had the Obi-Wan series with Ewan McGregor, and Hayden Christensen's supposed to come back as Darth Vader somehow.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess mental stuff that Obi-Wan deals with like some PTSD.
But he might also be leaving the Tatooine at some point. That's rumors that are floating around right now.
I just don't know how you would have them fight and stuff.
I don't see them fighting.
Yes, they also have Fox too, but they didn't really worry too much about Fox movies. They just focused on just their Disney, Marvel, Star Wars brands for this meeting. You had the first trailer for the Bad Batch, an all animated original series based off of the Bad Batch we saw in Clone Wars Season 7. It's supposed to take place after Order 66, where they kind of take odd jobs and stuff like that. You had Star Wars Visions, which will be animated short films that celebrate Star Wars. You had Droids.
Let's say a droid story.
Yeah. You had the Acolyte, which is going to be towards the tail end of the High Republic era. It's a mystery thriller because they're trying to go into the High Republic era. Is the big thing they're trying to hit. Lando Calrissian series.
They have
not Star Wars related, but Willow sequel. Or original series.
Don't they also Star Wars related still? Don't they have a Taika Waititi movie coming out that they haven't announced the title for yet?
Yes, Taika Waititi is attached to one of the 3 films that they have planned after, I think it's 2022 or 2023 where the next one comes out.
Okay.
Indiana Jones movie. Patty Jenkins is going to be directing essentially the Top Gun of Star Wars, Rogue Squadron. Her dad was a fighter pilot. She, so she understands how to. I know people are like, oh, Patty Jenkins ruined Star Wars. She didn't ruin fucking Star Wars. We did. We, as a collective, ruined Star Wars with Rise of Skywalker.
She had a plan and followed. I'm just kidding.
I agree with that, 100%. But I think she's kind of the best. She's a good pick for it. Also, the trailer's pretty cool because it has like the Star Wars theme almost mixed with Top Gun theme together. As she walks in a Rebel fighter outfit to a X-wing. And I think that's all the major stuff Star Wars wise that was announced. Of course, we'll get a season 3 of Mando as well, but that will be coming later next year than it normally does, or in December instead of when we've been getting it, which is like October, right? The first, yeah. So a little bit later. It's probably due to the fact that next year we're getting so many fucking shows from Marvel as well. And I would imagine that Ahsoka and Rangers also comes out next year.
Yeah.
So
that'd be my best guess, honestly. Like,
yeah,
they have to. It could even be like the first couple of months of next year, like March.
March is going to be Falcon Winter Soldier.
Okay, because it has to be soon, at least for the Ahsoka one, and I feel like Rangers as well. Ahsoka probably has to be sooner because they really have to roll off the momentum of her character being on the show. Rangers,
well, it was a soft pilot.
Yeah,
that episode is 100% the soft pilot for an Ahsoka series.
And then Rangers themselves, like, they pop up on occasion. But
it's got to be Dave Finian and the other guy who we've seen like twice. Dave Filoni, the director of the series, he's one of the fighter pilots in those episodes. him and the other guy.
Mhm.
Can't remember his name, but those two are probably going to be in the series.
Yeah. But no one really cares about the Rangers, I would think. So I feel like that show can
cool
hold
with
off for a
seeing-
little bit.
I would assume that like they probably do Ahsoka first.
Yeah.
But the reason why I don't think these shows show up until summer, fall. Because on the Marvel side of things,
Another huge list of things.
oh, it's a longer list of things. Straight up, like it is a long list of things. I'm still scrolling down to the beginning of this list. Hold on. What we start with is okay. So we're here. We get the we get a trailer for WandaVision,
Which
B
is coming out
January
15th of
15th.
next month. It's next month, people.
And a trailer for Falcon Winter Soldier, where they talk a lot about like the shield that is a mantle that's being passed over to Sam. But my God, that trailer! There's a scene where Falcon jumps out of a fucking plane,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fucking hype.
Nice.
I was giddy as hell. You're gonna love editing that part for me.
And this comes out March
19th,
Mhm.
3 days before my birthday.
Nice.
Yay me!
Yeah, Disney's
Because that's the
giving you a
series I've been waiting.
birthday.
That's like it's a fucking gift to me. Holy shit! We got the Ironheart talk with Dominique Thorne. Is genius inventor Riri Williams in Ironheart, where she makes her own Iron Man armor. We got the name for the next Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We also got cast news with Catherine Newton is going to be playing Cassie Lang, which means that we're probably going to get her being superhero. Which leads into more of my theory from last week where I talked about the fact that we're probably getting Young Avengers.
I like how you're going into more of your theory stuff than the confirmed stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm getting through these. There's a lot. That's the one theory thing I've talked about. Let me have the one thing that is like lining up these things. Ironheart's also a Young Avenger, so it's like it's setting up for it. I don't know. We got a trailer. I did not expect a trailer for this, but we got a trailer for Loki, where it starts exactly where everyone theorized where it's going to start from, where he grabs the cosmic cube. I didn't recognize Owen Wilson in this trailer for like an entire day. He does not look like Owen Wilson. I thought it was the guy who played Howard Stark because it looks like Howard Stark. I'm like, is that Howard Stark?
Wow.
What? But no, it's fucking Owen Wilson. The TVA is like time. They're the time cops. They're trying to figure out why Loki's there. We got a trailer for. Also, didn't expect this. A trailer for What If. That Loki comes out May 2021. What If is coming out summer. Guessing probably 2 months after that, so July, because these are each like 2 months apart from each other.
But
so big
July
guess. What
release date is actually Shang-Chi.
That's movie wise.
Oh, I guess that's fine.
So it's still doable. But yes, also saying we got more stuff about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings with the like cast called up there with Simu Liu, Tony Ling. Man, I'm not good at names. I didn't realize Ronnie Chang was going to be in this. He's from the Trevor Noah Daily Show.
Okay.
He does stuff on the Daily Show. We got a little bit, not really a like it was more of a teaser, but we got some kind of like shots from it. But Miss Marvel did not expect to get some from that. But that comes out late 2021. And we are getting Captain Marvel 2, which will have Ilma Villena, Kamala Khan show up in that, with also Monica Rambeau.
You're trying so hard.
I'm bad at names.
It's like I'm trying really hard to listen, but like this
We know I'm awful at names, okay? I've always been awful at names. I'm lucky I can spell my last name. It's a long last name. Could you imagine if I didn't know it and tried to say that name? I'd fuck it up so goddamn much. I sometimes mistype my last name.
It's
not good at names.
Before I.
Yeah, technically, yeah. I break every rule. But played by Tiana Paris, who is in WandaVision as this character, who is the girl from the first Captain Marvel. So there's that. 100% confirmation of Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop. Not that we needed more confirmation on it, but we got confirmation on it. We got Tatiana Maslany playing Jennifer Welters, She-Hulk. We got not much news, but just talk about Moon Knight. We got confirmation of Secret Invasion, which didn't expect that, with Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn returning in their roles as Nick Fury and Talos, about the secret invasion of apparently Skrulls. There's probably just some evil faction of Skrulls, which those two are going to have to take on. Following up Ironheart, we also are going to get James Rhodes, played by Don Cheadle, in Armor Wars, which is an awesome arc in the comics where Tony's armor essentially ends up in the wrong hands, and he has to try to stop it.
So we get essentially like another perspective of Iron Man 2 or 3.
Yeah, but if it's worse.
Okay.
Well, Iron Man 3 is not the armor; it's the Iron Man 2 is about the armor. But imagine that with everyone having like whiplash suits.
Okay.
But their own styles. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
That one I'm kind of excited for.
Interested to see how it's going to go. We're going to get shorts. I Am Groot, about Baby Groot. That's going to be adorable. We get confirmation that Christian Bale is joining the cast of Thor: Love and Thunder as villain Gore the God Butcher. So that's going to be fun. And then apparently Spider-Man 3, they already probably really like what they're seeing.
You to talk about that one for a while.
John Watts is directing Marvel's first family, The Fantastic Four.
That one I'm not as excited.
I am, because it's the first time we might get a good Fantastic Four movie. Because John Watts has done great work with the Spider-Man movies. And I can't wait to see Spider-Man 3, which will probably be called Homeward Bound.
So it's like Spider-Man 3 I'm super excited for, only because they've announced so many.
Okay, can we talk? We should probably move on to that next. That's the list of things from Marvel. So speaking of Spider-Man 3, I can't consciously say anything is confirmed, because how many times things have been confirmed, denied, confirmed again. I'm like, until I see this movie, I don't believe anything cast wise. Because in the last week, there's been Doc Ock is coming back. Mary Jane is showing up.
Every character, yeah. We're gonna get
Tobey
Maguire.
Andrew and Toby. Yeah. We're getting like Doctor Strange is in it. Like, dude, I cannot say this movie is actually what it is.
Andrew Garfield's gonna be in it.
I can't personally say any of that news is real until I see this movie. That's the only way I can operate with this going forward, because like it's every other day. Yeah. It doesn't seem real, because then sometimes it gets called out like, no, that was fake. But then 2 weeks later, it's like, oh no, Andrew and Toby are there. I'm like, which is it? Which is it? Stop this. This is madness. I can't.
I want it. I really want to see. I would love to see like a multiverse, all 3 Spider-Men, and 2 of them are gonna like comment on Toby, be like, that comes out of your body? Ew.
Well, what I saw that I want, I've always stood by this, but I always felt that Marvel should have done Miles Morales. But if they're going to add Miles Morales to this, it has to be animated. he has to be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Miles.
You don't want him as a live action Miles?
Well, if we get one, yes, cool. But I need to, if we're going to have, like, if we have multiple Miles, let's say, okay, one of them has to be Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse animated, because that's people's Miles Morales, and that would be a way to create the web of shit that Spider-Man's going to be getting into, where it's still connected to the MCU, but then we also can get Morbius, Venom, anything else that these fuckers want, like the Sable and Black Cat movie that they want. Like, we get all of that then too, without it fucking with the MCU, and we get the fucking Madam Web and shit like that, because that 100% just like immediately, like, we're like, okay, cool, Into the Spider-Verse is in this universe of things. All right, I'm cool with this. And it's the only, it'd be a way for them to be able to do what they want to do, what Sony wants to do with Spider-Man, while also letting Marvel Studios do what they want with Spider-Man. That, or you have this version of Peter join that group of Spider-Verse spiders and have the MCU universe have Miles take over.
Okay. That'd be interesting.
Well, but I also don't know if that would happen.
The time temporal anomaly stuff?
Well, I don't know if that would happen due to the fact that, like, again, Young Avengers. This Peter Parker is perfect for the Young Avengers. So there wasn't a lot of news on Black Widow. It's still planned to come out when it's supposed to, I guess, but I don't know. Oh, some other news that I just saw though. The Mandalorian star, Temuera Morrison, who plays Boba, reportedly joins Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Okay. Kind of makes sense. He has to be there a little bit.
Well,
or he's thrown into a pit.
No. You know who else he could be playing?
Rex.
Well, yeah, but for Obi-Wan.
That.
Commander Cody. Which he didn't murder Cody. Cody lived at the end of Utapau. But like, someone's quote tweeted it, and you know, sometimes in war, it's hard to be the one that survives. And it's a quote from Cody in Clone Wars. Man, if we get a reunion between those two, and it's
actually
Cody
good.
still has the chip or not, like I'm interested to see what that looks like. I'm just that's gonna be a heart moment right there. Whether or not it's gonna be my heart being ripped out or my heart sobbing, because Cody's one of my favorite troopers. Obi-Wan's my favorite Jedi. No matter what happens in that scene, I'm gonna be like, my heart is gonna be my reaction. My heart,
Anakin, you're breaking my heart.
Kinda. We'll see how it goes though. Yeah, I'm just the fact that, but Disney is still planning to release these movies in theaters. They aren't talking about doing the model they did with Mulan. As far as we know, so who knows if they would be doing that again. I mean, putting a $30 premium. I know some of the people I like follow and stuff like talk about like $30 isn't a big deal, but we've talked about, like, just from our standpoint, like, it doesn't make sense for us to have just two people. Like, it makes sense for us to have two people watch it for 30 if we were both sharing the same account.
But we're not.
Mind you, if they end up doing that and that's the way we're going to go about it, we're going to have guests those weeks.
So when are we living together to make things better, easier?
When? I don't know, dude.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but that's all the fucking Disney news that really matters too much. There was a lot of other stuff announced too for just Disney itself, a lot of movies, but
yeah,
none that are like. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, ever since that stuff was announced, Like, that's all anyone has really been talking about on most of the news sites that I go through.
I mean, it's a lot of news to unpack, a lot of theorizing and stuff like that. Again, everything they announced, by the way, just leans heavier into the idea of Young Avengers because having a Secret Invasion and Fantastic Four, that's a lot of Skrull, Hulkling. The fact that Mark Ruffalo is going to show up in She-Hulk, and that might take place after Secret Invasion. Again, credence to that idea for me. Multiverse of Madness could introduce Warlock, who's another sorcerer who's part of the Young Avengers. If I remember correctly, there's a lot of stuff potentially for the Young Avengers. Which, I mean, I think that's a good choice for the next Avengers movie, personally, because that sets up that these people could play these roles for a little bit longer too, and it means that you can trade out the cast a little bit easier too going forward. The other news too was about God, I can not remember her name, the one who played Shuri. With her, she shared an anti-vax video.
Did she really?
Yes. So suddenly Black Panther 2 seems weirdly up on the chopping block, whether or not it'll make it or not. Just solely based off of her actions. Because her character's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best parts.
But people will have a harder time taking apart her from the actress if that actress is also an anti-vaxxer during a fucking pandemic.
I mean, Black Panther was scheduled to originally come out when exactly? Like 2020?
Black Panther 2?
Yeah.
I think originally was 2022.
If
I remember my schedule. If I remember the original schedule correctly.
Okay. Because
I think that was about midway.
On IMDb right now, it says it's coming out still July 8th, 2020.
Okay. Yeah, that's when that was. Hey, I remembered. Hell yeah. But like with that one, like who knows what'll happen now with that? Do they like it'd be hard to recast her because she's been in 3 movies now.
Okay, yeah.
In the MCU. She was in Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame.
Yeah.
When Marvel has done recasts, it's always early into like a character's career.
Maybe 1 movie, not 3.
Yeah, like except for Cassie Lang, the current recast isn't necessarily like the character's been established in 2 other movies, but that was a different actress than the actress who just played her in Endgame. And that character was only in for 1 scene, 2 scenes. So that's an easier recast because we didn't get to know Cassie as a young adult.
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
We've only known her as a kid. Yeah, it's been 5 years. So that's an easier recast than recasting someone who's been prominent in 3 movies now. Not super prominent in Endgame, but like prominent in Black Panther.
I feel like if they do that, they're just opening themselves up to a major racial criticism. Honestly.
Well, I don't think about that. I think it's just more that it's harder to recast a character that's already like well established.
Like I understand that's what you're getting at, but I'm also adding on that.
How? I'm curious about how.
Because remember how there used to be a common trope that people would say, "Oh, they all look alike."
Oh no, I don't think that's what it would be because people understand why the recasting is happening because of. I think people understand the context, if that makes sense. I see what you're talking about, but I don't think that would be a problem due to the context of the situation, if that makes more sense. Due to the fact of like, it's royally fucked. If it was a white actor or actress sharing this shit, this would be the same conversation I think would need to happen. Do you recast? Because sharing anti-vax shit during a pandemic where 300,000 people have died is fucking heinous, in my opinion.
Okay, I mean, I don't disagree.
Some people said the legitimately the only way to like maybe keep her as a character is her apologize and take the vaccine.
Live
Like-
on national television.
Pretty much, yeah. um, and essentially learn from her action. And I'm all for someone developing and being a better person over time. 100%. I don't think you should stop someone from being better and learning from those kind of things. Because there's a lot of misinformation out there about shit, and it does affect people's outlook on this kind of stuff. So in that scenario, like, you gotta also like at least don't share that shit when you know it's not something you should be sharing. Even if it's not what you believe in, that kind of thing, being an anti-vaxxer just isn't something during a fucking pandemic is not something you should be openly sharing if you're in a very respected position. Whether or not you're on a fucking talk show, a celebrity, a fucking athlete, or the goddamn president of the United States. Don't care. It's fucked because, again, 300,000 people have died. Like, not to get dour in the last moments of this podcast, but it's just like, it's one of those things that, like, I don't know how they remedy this issue without pushing Black Panther further off and hoping the collective consciousness forgets. It won't. Because no one's going to forget 2020. Even if we try, we're not.
Nope.
We're going to be talking about 2020 for years.
So it's going to be in history books.
It's going to be its own history book. You're going to have a class on 2020.
The cultural analysis of 2020 and how it changed the world.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's just how it is.
I want to tangent real fast off of that. I have a new small little guilty pleasure.
Oh boy.
Like, I've been watching YouTube videos as of late that talk about how Game of Thrones was not only did it fuck up badly that people like hate it, but they fucked up so badly that it's no longer even talked about. Like,
oh no, I did you watch Lindsay Ellis talk about it?
That's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I went back to that video this year, like a month ago. I went back. I'm like, I want to watch Lindsay Ellis's like dissection of what happened to Game of Thrones because it's fun. Because at the same time, like, yeah, we talked about it when it happened, but like, we really haven't talked about Game of Thrones since it happened.
No,
like,
yeah.
People talk about like Sopranos, Breaking Bad,
like,
MASH.
No, literally, like the Game of Thrones was one of the largest, if not the largest, pop culture title in all of like television history, and suddenly they fucked up so badly that it's just gone. No one talks about it.
When did that series end?
2018.
Was it 2018?
Game of Thrones ending was
Was it 2019?
2019.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it ended in 2019 or if it was beginning of 2020. I was like, because it could entirely have been the beginning of 2020.
It very much could have been.
Collective conscience. My brain went, and it's close enough. It could have been, right?
Yeah, but people don't even like meme it anymore. We barely hear "winter is coming." Like, it's dead. They fucked up so badly that it stopped being one of the most talked about things in the world to barely being talked about at all. And it's so fun to listen to people's like analysis of that.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, and that's one of the things that, like, well, and the other thing too is like to circle back, like if that's so weird problem that the whole Shuri thing brings up is
I
that
didn't want to circle back, but it's okay.
okay, fine. We won't circle back. We'll worry about it. I'll talk about it later at some point. Who knows?
Okay.
Maybe when there's more news about Black Panther, I'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think at this point we've kind of brought up what we were trying to say about it.
Yeah.
We don't need to say it again.
I do need to talk about something with you after this show, though.
Okay. That should be fine. All right. Let's see. Any other interesting news? I mean, Disney was really what took up a lot of this. I'm literally scrolling through days of news articles. And I haven't
Legitimately,
found
that's
anything.
all they're really like. All everyone really talked about this week, just because that was what it was. This.
In that case, I have an old question, but one that I sparsely ask you. What have you been watching lately, Dev?
Nothing. Honestly, I
Just-
really haven't been watching much. I just haven't been watching a lot of anime or anything right now recently, so I just haven't been watching much. Also been streaming a lot, so
I was about to say, you are streaming a lot. I know
I've
this
streamed
because...
every day for the last 13 days. Going to be streaming again tonight, doing the charity stuff. So
yeah, I definitely know this because my work has gotten a lot harder.
not bad.
Or more tedious,
Well,
not harder.
you've just hit the point where like you've just started to hit the December weeks.
I actually kind of skipped a week in the highlight process to hit December weeks early. Like, yeah, I was like, you know what? Because I was doing 2 weeks back, but I'm like, it's Streamsmiths. We have to take advantage of this as much as possible. So I kind of skipped a whole week of highlights and started doing from Wednesday to Wednesday. So every highlight will at least have half of the week's process now. Half of that week. And then the week after that, we'll have for the rest, like Thursday to Tuesday or whatever. You know.
Okay, I like that. More current stuff.
Exactly. Felt more appropriate.
I'm cool with that. There wasn't probably much in that week that's missed. Who knows?
See any? I looked. I was like, I'm just gonna. Man.
Probably DBD. I'm getting fucking frustrated with that game, dude.
You've been playing a lot of it. But
it's a fun game. I enjoy it. But man, the last few times I've been getting fucking tossed. Like walking in there and it's like, ha, bitch. I'm like, I just want to enjoy the game.
Get this little midget man off me.
He hasn't been the one attacking me the most, dude. It's been fucking it's everyone, dude. Every fucking killer's just been tossing me, man. Like it's I have not survived. We're getting distracted. We're going to tangent. We should probably wrap up.
One last thing. I actually recently watched a movie that I was kind of excited to watch until I watched it midway. Like, I tried to convince you to watch it last year, if you remember.
I told you it was going to be a trash movie.
It wasn't necessarily a trash movie, but the main actor, at least the top billed actor here, Ed Skrein, really threw me out. He is the if you might remember him from a couple of things like Alita Battle Angel as the guy who gets his face cut in half, or as Ajax, Deadpool. Yeah, he just really didn't fit into this movie role. He was like a top Shogun cocky pilot, and his just tone and his inflection just really didn't get me into it. I felt like some of the other roles were fine. Like I honestly thought like the storytelling itself was okay. It's just that his acting was the most outrageous part.
Fair.
Yeah.
Still not gonna watch it.
I understand. All right. So last.
You want to know what I am gonna watch?
What's that?
Were you about to tangent next week, or were you doing more news
next week?
Well. Guess what I'm going to watch? I'm watching The Man Who Invented Christmas and Scrooged.
I'm actually genuinely excited for The Man Who Invented Christmas because I've not seen it, but I think it's going to be interesting to see a biopic about the basic origin of Scrooged. I mean, The Christmas Carol.
And we're doing my favorite version of The Christmas Carol with Bill Murray, Scrooged.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm excited.
Yeah, same.
Gonna be great.
And then we have one more week after that. What are we gonna do? Who knows what January has in store?
That's something in my.
Oh shit, Sherlock.
Whisper.
This is great for the audio listeners.
Yes, it is.
Welcome to NPR Radio. I'm your host.
Welcome to ASMR Radio.
Dorky Dev. Today I'm joined by Srekcuf5. Anyways, we should probably wrap up.
Yeah, we've gone on so many tangents today.
Again, just gonna point it out. Link is in description and stuff like that for the charity thing I'm doing up until the 24th of December 2020. If you're listening to this afterwards, sorry you missed it. Join me next year. I'm streaming again at least through the 24th. Who knows if we hit one of my goals is stream for 100 days. I'll probably be streaming for 100 days. Who knows?
if you hit that, it's super awesome, but simultaneously I'm like,
Your
fuck.
job is gonna suck.
Yes.
My job is gonna suck.
Yes. I was totally for it until I thought about it a little bit. And I was like, I'm being punished.
I still draw you in no matter what, sucker.
Yeah, it's okay. I just have to sit here and watch more of you more often. It's okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, my videos went from scrolling through 7 to 10 hours a week to scrolling through 20 to 30 hours a week.
I've been streaming a lot because of this.
It's okay. It's a good thing.
Hold on, let me see.
It's for the
I can actually
children.
pull up how much have I streamed in just November or just December. December hours streamed. Where's that at? Minutes time streamed. I've already streamed 55 hours.
Woo!
In just December. That's a lot.
Not
On top of
just 2 weeks. We hit 2 weeks today, and you haven't even streamed today.
nope, I'm at least streaming 2 hours. Who knows? They're all like there's only one short stream on there. It's gonna be interesting. But yeah, come join the charity event. I'm raising money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, aiming for $2,500. And yeah, there's a bunch of fun stuff that we're doing with it. So you can join me over there.
Do it. Just
Do it.
all right.
Do it.
So yeah, I've got nothing else here today for me. So yeah, we done. We getting out of here.
We done.
Thank you for being here, everybody. You're awesome. We appreciate you. Watch the movies, please. Comment, talk, come show up.
Yeah.
We'll have a great discussion.
At our Twitter.
Yeah.
At HarHiHQ. If you watch these movies and are like, your opinion on this, I didn't quite agree with.
Yeah.
We'll be open to call out Steven when he misremembers something.
It'll happen all the time.
And when Dev is right, and then you're like, Dev was right during this point when he says that the dragons in How to Train Your Dragon 3 were spotted.
They were Dalmatian puppies. You're not wrong. Oh, also, at me, if you have really good book recommendations. It turns out I forgot to cancel my Audible for a year now. And I got a notification saying that this last year's worth of free credits they've given me are going to expire. So I need to get 12 books. I need 12 book recommendations. At me.
Can't Srekcuf5.
Exactly. So yeah.
Or Srekcuf5.
Yeah. Srekcuf5. Thank you. The 5 is silent.
There's no S at the end then.
I mean, the 5 is the S. So there's that. I've given up telling people, like, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out eventually. Either way.
It backwards. Anyways, we need to go.
Yeah.
We have to talk, and then I have to stream.
Yeah. Peace be with you on this holiday
Bye.
season.
Oh.